So in my life, I've been around a lot, met a lot of people. And there's one that very specifically stands out. I can't even pronounce the name. It was Middle Eastern. And I sat and I talked with this guy for a while. I was at a hotel for a company I was working for and had a room with this guy. I noticed he was Middle Eastern. I asked him, I'm like, where are you from? He's like, Iraq. And so I got to ask him some time in Iraq and what he did there. He said, well, I was drafted into the army. I fought the Americans. And I don't really like war. And I thought that was kind of interesting because we have this persona over here that these Iraqis are like, oh, let's kick some American butt, you know. And he fought under Saddam, and he didn't have a good time of it. And one of the things that really stands out to me in this guy is the fact that he loved American Marlboro cigarettes. That was his thing. American Marlboro cigarettes and Michelob Ultra. He'd get a big tall boy, he'd slam that before bed, he'd go out and smoke 500,000 cigarettes, and he was content in life. But when it came to the war in Iraq, he couldn't give a care less either way. He didn't want the Americans there to fight him, and he didn't want to fight the Americans, and he didn't want to be drafted, and that's the way it was. So it kind of concludes, even back 20, 30 years ago, that these governments were really the ones at fault. The people really didn't want to fight each other. When you ask yourself the question, why do these Iraqi people and, well, Middle Eastern in general now want to fight so much? Because you've been occupying their homeland, okay? These people went from being farmers and backwards people to being oppressed, okay? Would you feel good if there was, say, English troops again roaming the streets of America? No, you wouldn't feel good. And you would probably put up some resistance. But this particular guy, through a series of fate and God probably, well, likely, ended up in the United States. A peaceful truck driver, once fighting the Americans, now works for the Americans. Now, isn't that strange?